What's up, everybody? Weston here with the Hidden Gibbon, and I am back with Friday's installment of Magic for the Working Class, the deck tech series, where I take commanders and build decks and do deck techs for them for under $100, because currently, you know, in the economic times that we are in, a lot of people are struggling, and I want them to still be able to enjoy the hobby that they love. I know what it's like to struggle financially, so without further ado, let's get straight into it, shall we? We have my Scornful Striker, and today's deck tech is coming in at $68.35. It is, of course, starting my Scornful Striker. She's a 2/2 for 1 generic and 1 black. First strike, and whenever a player casts a non-creature spell, they lose 2 life. Yes, this is symmetrical. It will hit you as well. How are we going to get there today, then? We have a bunch of creatures. This way we don't hit ourselves nearly as much. We have a Cursed Marauder in here, as well as other effects like it. For example, Plague Crafter and Fleshbag Marauder, right? And Demon's Disciple. They're all in here. That when they enter, each player sacrifices a non-token creature. So then you'll sacrifice your Cursed Marauder. Think of it as 1-to-1 removal. Plague Crafter does the same, except for this can also make somebody sacrifice a Planeswalker. And if they don't have a creature or planeswalker to sacrifice, they have to discard a card. And then Fleshbag Marauder is the original, so when it enters, each player sacks a creature. And Demon's Disciple is when it enters, each player sacrifices a creature or planeswalker. We have Agent Venom, Flash, and Menace, and whenever another non-token creature you control dies, you draw a card and lose 1 life. We have Burglar Rat. When it enters, each opponent discards a card. We have Dread Presence. This is to help offset the 2 that you're going to be taking from your own Mai. With whenever a swamp enters the battlefield under your control, choose 1. You draw a card and lose a life, or deals 2 damage to any target, and you gain 2 life. We do have Grey Merchant of Asphodel, Gary, if you will. When he enters the battlefield, each opponent loses X life, where X is your devotion to black, and you gain life equal to life lost this way. We have Jody, one of many. Surveil 1. You can tap to Surveil 1, create a token that's a copy of this creature. Then sacrifice an artifact or creature. Activate only as a sorcery. So you can make more Jodies. Good old Jody. We have Junji, Midnight Sky, Flying and Menace. And when Junji dies, choose 1. Each opponent discards 2 cards and loses 2 life, or put target non-dragon creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control and you lose 2 life. Note, you can take your opponent's creatures with this as well. We have Leaden Myr. It's a mana dork that adds black. We have Mage Hunter. Whenever an opponent casts their copies an instant or sorcery spell, they lose a life. Marauding Blight Priest. Whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. We have Massacre Girl, so when she enters, she's going to give each other creature -1/-1 till end of turn, and whenever a creature dies this turn, each creature other than Massacre Girl gets -1/-1 till end of turn. We have Melancholic Poet. Repartee. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets a creature, each opponent loses 1 life, and you gain 1 life. This, again, will help offset Mai's ability. Opiomancer. At the beginning of each upkeep, if you control no snakes, you get a little snake that has Death Touch. We have Ravenous Chupacabra. When it enters the battlefield, destroy target creature an opponent controls, and then it is a blocker for you. Rug of Smothering, Flying, and whenever a player casts a spell, they lose 1 life for each spell they've cast this turn. So not only does this symmetrically punish people for casting spells, but also those people who like to do Spell Slinger. We have Shriek Maw, Fear, and when it enters the battlefield, destroy target non-artifact, non-black creature. Shriek Maw used to see Legacy play back in the day, friends. It is a very good card. You could evoke it for 2. Solemn, of course, you get to search up a land and then draw a card when it dies. So whenever a player plays a non-black spell, that player loses 1 life. Vampire Nighthawk, Death Touch, Lifelink. Way to recoup some of your life. Virus Beetle. Whenever this creature enters, each opponent discards a card. Spells. Or sorcery, sorry. We have 14. We have removal with Claim the Precious. We have Fell, which once again, I cannot gush about this art enough. I love this art. Like, love this art. It's so, like, beautiful. We have Feed the Swarm. So those are all good ways to help straight up removal. We have Day of the Black Sun. Each creature with mana value X or less loses all abilities until end of turn. Destroy those creatures. We have Epic Downfall. Exile a creature mana value 3 or greater. Exsanguinate. Since we do have a whole bunch of swamps, you could use Exsanguinate to gain a whole bunch of life. This helps offset your Mai. Mutilate. All creatures get -1/-1 for each swamp you control. Night's Whisper. You draw 2 cards, lose 2 life. We have Pox in here. Each player loses a third of their life, then discards a third of the cards in their hand, then sacrifices a third of the creatures, then sacrifices a third of the lands they control, round up 3 each time. Now, this is important. This says this is bracket 2, but this is not a bracket 2 card. This could count as Massland and I'll. So just sub it out if you don't want to play with the card. We have Pox Plague, which is each player loses half their life rounded up, discards half their cards in their hand, then sacrifices half the permanents they control or round down each time. And we also have Smallpox in here. Each player loses 1 life, discards a card, sacks a creature, sacks a land. We have Risky Shortcut, draw 2 cards, each player loses 2 life. Sign in Blood, draw 2 cards, lose 2 life. 4 life if you have Mai out. Villainous Wrath, target opponent loses life equal to the number of creatures they control, then destroy all creatures. Instance. Armor of Shadows, until end of turn, target creature gets +1/+0 and indestructible. They're going to be coming for your Mai pretty hard because she is she very quickly kills people. Consuming Corruption deals X damage to target creature or player, and you gain X life, where X is the number of swamps you control. Deadly Dispute, sack a creature or artifact. Draw 2, create a treasure. Defile, target creature gets -X or -1/-1 until end of turn for each swamp. Doomblade, destroy target non-black creature with that classic art on there by Chippy. Fake Your Own Death, until end of turn. Creature gets, when it dies, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control, tapped, and then also create a treasure. You go for the Throat, destroy target non-artifact creature. Heartless Act, destroy target creature with no counters, or remove up to 3 counters from target creature. Hero's Downfall, destroy target creature or planeswalker. Infernal Grasp, destroy a creature, you lose 2 life. Murder, kills a creature. Overkill, a creature gets -0, -9,999. Sold Out, exile a creature. If it was dealt damage this turn, create a clue token. We have Supernatural Stamina. When a creature dies, return it tapped under its owner's controls. Undying Malice brings it back with a 1/1 counter on it. Tendrils of Corruption deals X damage to target creature, and you gain X life, where X is the number of swamps you control. And Village Rites, sack a creature, draw 2 cards. So, as you can see, we do have a few ways to gain back some life, because we don't want to be losing all of our life. We do have Demon's Horn, so whenever a player casts a black spell, you gain 1 life. It's a good way to recoup your losses. Isolation Cell, whenever an opponent casts a creature spell, that player loses 2 life unless they pay 2. Enchantments, we have Bastion of Remembrance. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1, you gain 1. Hissing Miasma, whenever a creature attacks you, its controller loses 1. Liability, whenever a card is put into a player's graveyard from play, that player loses 1 life. Painful Quandary, if an opponent would cast a spell, they lose 5 life unless they discard a card. Polluted Bonds, whenever a land enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, they lose 2, you gain 2. And we have Revenge of Ravens, whenever a creature attacks you or a planeswalker you control, that creature's controller loses 1, you gain 1. And then our lands, of course, we have Bojuka Bog to remove graveyards. We have Barren Moor and Polluted Mire to help cycle drawing cards if we get land flooded. Myriad Landscape, Terramorphic Expanse, Rogue's Passage, and 31 Swamps. We are running 37, which is 1 lighter than what I would like, but we're giving it a try here. And now for the play testing, shall we? Let's see an example opening hand. We have ourselves... Oh, cool. We have ourselves a 1-lander, so we are going to take a mulligan. All right, we can do this. We can do this one. Next turn, we are going to drop a swamp. And next turn, we are going to drop our Mai on turn 2, getting as much value out of her as possible. Next turn, we do have a swamp. I am going to play Ledinmer. Next turn, now we are going to play Agent Venom. And then we're going to play Soot Imp. Whenever a player plays a non-black spell, so we're already going to probably be pinging them for a whole bunch, right? We have stuff in our hand as well. We haven't drawn another swamp, which is pretty sad, but we will go ahead and play Melancholic Poet. Just get that down out of there. And we have a bunch of removal. We may as well use one, right? So we're going to claim the Precious. We're going to kill something. We're going to give my the Ring Temps. We lose 2, but we gain 1. So we lose 1 life overall. Next turn, we're going to Bajuka Bog. We have 4 mana available. We'll put this down. And then, you know, just keep going. It's not a very exciting deck, right? It's got lots of removal. We've got ways of gaining life, losing life, stuff like that. People will come for your commander quite a bit. This one's a little bit more interesting in the hand. We drop Mai on turn 2. You know, there's our draws with a little bit more lands. Randomness, am I right? So there you go. That is the deck, and hopefully it does pretty well for you. Again, $68 is a steal, and it gives you a nice starting point to be able to build up to something a lot more powerful. That is also a secondary purpose of Magic for the working class. You may not have the money for an expensive deck right here or there, but if you start with something that is very affordable and then upgrade it over time, you can get a much more powerful deck. But as always, I am Weston with the Hidden Gibbon, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. What's up,